So it is my great pleasure to give the official introduction to our, as we've already seen, immensely fiery, passionate, and committed guest speaker today, the Reverend Kevin Allen Mann, pronouns he, him, sha. He was ordained by the First Unitarian Church of Oakland on October 1st, 2023, the first day of both Filipino American and LGBTQ plus History Month. His ministry is expansive. He serves as a chaplain at Sequoia Hospice. He is the faculty advisor at Star King School for the Ministry, which is our Unitarian Universalist seminary up in the Bay Area. He is also consultant for the partnership with the UU Church of the Philippines. Reverend Kevin founded the California statewide chapter of DRUM, and DRUM stands for Diverse Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries. This amazing organization, which I know you're going to tell us about, hosts quarterly retreats for BIPOC UUs, and we hope to be connected here in Fresno to this larger BIPOC community. Reverend Kevin's ministry is rooted in collective liberation, where none of us is free until all of us are free. Please give a raucous welcome to Reverend Kev.
Good morning, Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. It is a joy and an honor to be with you here today. Thank you so much to Reverend Tim for graciously accepting this invitation to preach, and deep gratitude and love to all the UU Church of Fresno staff and lay leaders, people that hosted my partner and I last night, fed us breakfast this morning. Thank you so much for the warm welcome and the warm love. I feel it in my heart. Thank you. This morning, the words of the late Black civil rights icon, John Lewis, whisper in my ear. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. Our struggle is the struggle of a lifetime. Never be afraid to make some trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble. John Lewis's call to get in good trouble reminds me of the best that we can be as Unitarian Universalists as we struggle to bend that arc towards justice, dismantle white supremacy in all its ugly forms, and forge transformative solidarity with all oppressed people yearning to be free. Being a Unitarian Universalist means being part of something bigger than oneself, with a long-term vision for a world that does not yet exist. We are a living tradition where revelation is not sealed, and we know that we must do the hard internal and external work to transform oppression and white supremacy culture from within, among, and beyond our church walls. In 1979, queer Black poet Audre Lorde said, "The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. They may allow us to temporarily beat him at his own game, but they will never enable us to bring about genuine change." Audre Lorde talks about the new tools that we need, new tools like the UUA Mosaic Anti-Racism Lifespan Curriculum. Have folks heard about this before? The new Mosaic Anti-Racism Lifespan Curriculum. It's recently being rolled out in the past few years, edited by Reverend Marisol Caballero, who I've known for the past 20 years through Drum Youth and Young Adults. We call it Drum Yaya, which is where I first got involved. The anti-racism lifespan curriculum is in direct response to the UUA's Commission on Institutional Change report. It's the widening of the circle report, and it recommended an OWL-like, which means lifespan curriculum on anti-racism with multimedia playlist, various groups there's anti-racism education for elementary school, middle school, high school, BIPOC folks, young adults, white folks. There's something in there for everyone. Here at UU Church of Fresno, Valerie Johnson is your team lead for the anti-racism lifespan curriculum. They've had 2 sessions already, and the 3rd one is totally open if folks want to get involved with this work. Be on the lookout in your next church newsletter for an anti-racism, anti-oppression, multiculturalism resource guide. And Adrienne Marie Brown, who's another queer Black author, talks about emergent strategy. She says there is a conversation in the room that only these people can have at this time. Find it. And so in that spirit, Unitarian Universalists since 1997 have been meeting as people of color. Now, why is it important for people of color to gather together in these times? According to the UUA Guide to Race-Based Affinity Caucus, the reason and the purpose for gathering in racial affinity groups is to create safe and brave space where people can express their fears, their pain, their hopes without bystanders, so that when they re-enter mixed identity spaces, it's with greater self-awareness, less self-judgment, and stronger confidence. The intent behind racial identity caucusing is to deepen and broaden the perspectives of participants trying to produce a new way of thinking. And so for all these reasons, we're so excited to be hosting the UU Fresno People of Color Caucus directly after this service today. We're going to be meeting over in the youth room, the garage, for all who identify as Black, Indigenous, people of color. Normally, the group meets every 3rd Sunday of the month, so thank you for moving it up a little. But you all have a regular BIPOC group that meets here, which is not the case for most other UU churches. So I hope you can join us if you identify as a person of color. Cecily, who you saw earlier, the coordinator of community life, can get you in touch with that People of Color Caucus, but please join us today directly after the service back there. So DRUM is, please say it with me now, DRUM stands for Diverse and Revolutionary Unitarian Universalist Multicultural Ministries. Thank you. DRUM's roots run deep through California. DRUM was founded in 1997 in Los Gatos in the Bay Area when leaders of the African American UU Multicultural Ministries, known as AUM, and the Latino-Latina UU Networking Association, known as LUNA, they came together in 1997 in Los Gatos, recognizing that people of color UUs needed an organization. And so I became active with DRUM youth and young adults when I was in the mid-2000s, in my early 20s. And it was no doubt that the DRUM community is what called me into professional ministry. Without DRUM, I would not be the ordained Unitarian, Universalist, Filipino-American, queer minister I am today, and I am thankful for that. In April 2023, we began a new organizing project called DRUM California. DRUM California is the first and only statewide affiliate of DRUM, and since April 2023, we had 43 BIPOC UUs come to the First Unitarian Church of Oakland in April 2023. Since then, we've had 11 quarterly retreats. We've grown to over 200 people on our listserv. Our May retreat in Long Beach had over 70 BIPOC UUs gathered from all over the state. People of color are hungry for a Unitarian Universalism that speaks to us, that lives through us, that is expressed through us. And so we hope that folks will join us for our 12th quarterly retreat at Davis, California, at the end of January, Friday, January 30th, Saturday the 31st, onto Sunday the 1st at the UU Church of Davis. We're gonna have homestays for free. We can pay for your gas to get up there. We want people of color, UUs, all across the state to be able to join us. Now, take a moment to dream with me a little, UU Church of Fresno. If you're comfortable, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a few deep breaths. With your eyes closed, with your gaze softened, what does collective liberation look like? Imagine a future of our 1,000 plus UU congregations that are the multicultural, anti-racist hubs that look like the communities we seek to serve. Close your eyes and imagine, what does collective liberation actually look like? Feel like? Sound like? Taste like? What does collective liberation protest like? How does collective liberation dance? How does collective liberation organize? How does collective liberation show up in our bodies? Open your eyes if you had them closed and think about, what did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? Who could we be if we allowed the values of our faith community to transform us and transform the communities that we serve? Aboriginal Australian activist Lila Watson says, if you have come here to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come because you know that your liberation is bound up with my liberation, then let us work together. Love is brave. Love is resilient, and as UU center love, we know that love builds bridges and tears down walls. Earlier this year, President of the UUA, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, who was your interim minister for 2 years, she said this in March, and I've held on to these words since I read them. Reverend Sophia says, times like this are where faith communities find their purpose. Times like this are where faith communities find their purpose. So may we each find our purpose in the revolution that is already here. May we be a true living tradition, ready to serve all the people, every last one. No one left behind, no one forgotten. Ready to build the new world out of the ashes of the old. Collective liberation for all. Nothing more, nothing less. Amen. Ashe, kapalaran, que así sea.